Implementation of AI Governance Framework by Q1 2025, a comprehensive overview. Introduction. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 is a strategic initiative aimed at enhancing compliance and infrastructure development within organizations. This framework is essential in responding to the growing regulatory demands faced by businesses, which have increasingly necessitated a transition from manual processes to automated governance, risk management, and compliance (GRC) solutions. With a budget allocation of $3.2 million, this initiative is structured into 4 key phases designed to ensure a smooth and effective rollout. Key phases of implementation. 1. Foundation and planning days 1 to 30. The first phase involves stakeholder alignment workshops to ensure executive support and to define the criteria for success. During this period, organizations will assess their technical requirements, evaluate their data migration needs, and establish security policies. Additionally, training for the implementation team will commence. Setting the groundwork for the coming phases. Key activities. Conduct workshops to secure stakeholder engagement. Define success metrics and key performance indicators (KPIs). Assess current GRC processes and identify areas for improvement. Initiate team training programs to prepare for deployment. 2. Core deployment days 31 to 60. In the second phase, a pilot environment will be established to test core workflows and integrations with existing systems. Initial configurations for risk frameworks and compliance automation will be validated through user acceptance testing. Key activities. Set up a development environment and conduct integration testing with primary systems. Customize risk frameworks and validate policy templates. Engage stakeholders in user acceptance testing to ensure the system meets business requirements. 3. Production and optimization days 61 to 90. The third phase focuses on a phased rollout by department, accompanied by real-time monitoring and performance optimization. Continuous feedback will be collected to refine processes and promote user engagement. Key activities. Execute a phased production deployment and support user onboarding. Monitor system performance and collect user feedback for process optimization. Track success metrics to ensure alignment with organizational goals. 4. Continuous improvement. Following deployment, the final phase establishes a framework for ongoing assessment and optimization. This framework will enable organizations to adapt to evolving compliance needs and business objectives. Key activities. Conduct regular performance reviews and update processes as necessary. Engage in continuous training and development to keep staff updated on the system. Monitor compliance status and address any emerging regulatory requirements. Budget and ROI considerations. The total budget for the implementation of the AI governance framework is set at $3.2 million. This budget will cover software licensing, implementation services, infrastructure costs, training, and ongoing operational expenses. Organizations can anticipate an average return on investment (ROI) of 340% within the first year, largely due to reduced audit costs and the prevention of compliance violations. Cost breakdown. Software licensing, $180,000 to $400,000. Implementation services, $120,000 to $350,000. Infrastructure costs, $25,000 to $75,000. Training and change management, $15,000 to $50,000. Expected savings. Reduction in labor costs, $1.8 million annually. Operational efficiency gains, $850,000 annually. Compliance cost avoidance, $2.1 million annually. Common key points.
The adoption of GRC automation platforms can significantly reduce manual overhead, with automation reportedly eliminating 73% of compliance-related tasks.
The complexity of regulatory frameworks including GDPR and SOX necessitates the implementation of automated solutions to manage compliance effectively. Continuous monitoring and automated reporting enhance audit readiness and accuracy in compliance.
Differences between sources. While the primary source emphasizes a structured 90-day implementation timeline and a detailed budget breakdown,
other sources may focus on the specific technologies involved or the different types of organizations benefiting from GRC automation. Some sources also highlight the risks associated with implementation, such as integration complexity and challenges in user adoption.
Timeline of events.
Q1 2025, target completion date for the governance framework implementation. Days 1 to 30, foundation and planning activities securing stakeholder engagement and budget approval. Days 31 to 60, core deployment with pilot testing and initial configurations. Days 61 to 90, full production rollout and ongoing optimization efforts. Conclusion. The strategic implementation of an AI governance framework is poised to significantly enhance compliance capabilities while providing a strong ROI. Through careful planning and execution, organizations can navigate the complex regulatory landscape more effectively, leveraging automation to streamline processes and mitigate risks. With the right approach, businesses will not only meet compliance requirements but also gain a competitive edge in their respective markets. This initiative reflects a proactive response to the challenges posed by regulatory changes and the need for robust governance mechanisms in an increasingly digital world. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 with a budget of $3.2 million focuses on compliance and infrastructure development in response to increasing regulatory demands. This structured approach is divided into 4 key phases: foundation and planning, core deployment, production and optimization, and continuous improvement. Key phases of implementation. 1. Foundation and planning, days 1 to 30. The first phase involves stakeholder alignment workshops to ensure executive support and to define success criteria. Organizations will assess technical requirements, data migration needs, and security policies, and initiate team training. 2. Core deployment, days 31 to 60. A pilot environment is established to test core workflows and integration with existing systems. Initial configurations for risk frameworks and compliance automation will undergo user acceptance testing. 3. Production and optimization, days 61 to 90. Implementation will roll out department by department with real-time monitoring and performance optimization. Key performance indicators (KPIs) will be tracked to refine processes and enhance user engagement. 4. Continuous improvement. After deployment, a framework for ongoing assessment and optimization will adapt to evolving compliance needs and business objectives. Budget and ROI considerations. The $3.2 million budget covers software licensing, implementation services, infrastructure training, and ongoing operational costs. Organizations can expect a return on investment ROI of 340% within the first year, primarily through reduced audit costs and the prevention of compliance violations. Automated GRC solutions can cut audit preparation time by 65% and eliminate up to 89% of compliance violations. Common key points. Automation platforms significantly reduce manual overhead, reportedly eliminating 73% of compliance-related tasks. The increasing complexity of regulatory frameworks such as GDPR and SOX necessitates the adoption of automated solutions. Continuous monitoring and automated reporting improve audit readiness and compliance accuracy. Differences between sources. The primary source highlights a structured 90-day implementation timeline and cost breakdown, while other sources may emphasize specific technologies or the types of organizations benefiting from GRC automation. Some sources also focus on implementation risks, such as integration complexity and user adoption challenges.
Timeline of events.
Q1 2025, target completion date for the governance framework implementation.
Days 1 to 30, foundation and planning activities to secure stakeholder engagement and budget approval.
Days 31 to 60, core deployment with pilot testing and initial configurations.
Days 61 to 90, full production rollout and ongoing optimization efforts. Counterintuitive information.
The expected ROI of 340% within the first year may seem optimistic considering the complexities of compliance and integration challenges.
However, organizations could achieve significant savings through automation, which can lead to drastic reductions in compliance-related tasks and costs.
The claim that automated GRC solutions can eliminate up to 89% of compliance violations contrasts with traditional views that compliance is a manual,
error-prone process.
This automation suggests a paradigm shift in how organizations view compliance and risk management.
The assertion that automated GRC platforms can reduce audit preparation time from 8 weeks to just 2 weeks challenges conventional wisdom about the time required for thorough compliance audits, indicating a potential for unprecedented efficiency gains.
In conclusion, the strategic implementation of an AI governance framework is set to enhance compliance capabilities significantly while providing a robust ROI.
Organizations can navigate complex regulatory landscapes more effectively, capitalizing on automation to streamline processes and mitigate risks.
The report detailing the implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 outlines a structured approach including 4 key phases and a budget allocation of $3.2 million. While the document covers essential aspects such as ROI, compliance, automation, and project phases, there are several nuances and details that most readers may overlook, which are significant for understanding the broader implications and potential challenges of the initiative.
1. Stakeholder engagement and change management.
The foundation and planning phase emphasizes stakeholder alignment workshops to gather executive support and define success criteria.
This is often an overlooked aspect of project implementation.
Effective stakeholder engagement is critical to the project's success and the overall acceptance of new systems. Many organizations fail to recognize that without active executive sponsorship and cross-departmental collaboration, initiatives can falter, leading to resistance and rejection from end users. The report highlights the importance of defining success criteria which can steer the project towards clear, measurable goals, yet this aspect often receives insufficient attention in implementation discussions, leading to misalignment and failure to meet expectations.
2. Integration complexity risks.
The report notes that integration complexity poses a significant risk for 60% of failed projects.
This risk is frequently underestimated,
as organizations often assume that new systems can seamlessly integrate with existing legacy systems. The detailed breakdown of how to mitigate these risks through thorough integration testing and maintaining parallel legacy operations during the transition is critical. Recognizing the potential pitfalls of integration complexity helps organizations prepare adequately, ensuring that they allocate resources and time for proper testing and adjustments. Ignoring this can lead to significant project delays and increased costs, ultimately impacting the expected ROI.
3. Continuous improvement framework. The establishment of a continuous improvement framework post-deployment is a noteworthy component that many may overlook.
The report mentions that organizations need to adapt to evolving compliance needs and business objectives continuously. This aspect is significant as it underscores the need for agility in governance frameworks. Static compliance processes can quickly become obsolete in the face of changing regulations.
Organizations must create a culture of continuous learning and adaptation,
which involves regularly revisiting processes, technology updates, and training programs. This not only sustains compliance but also enhances operational efficiency over time, making the organization more resilient to regulatory shifts.
4. Return on investment ROI nuances.
While the report provides a clear average ROI of 340% within the first year, the underlying calculations and assumptions often go unexamined. The report states that automated GRC solutions can significantly reduce audit preparation time and compliance violations. However, organizations need to critically evaluate the assumptions behind these figures, including the potential variability based on industry scale and specific contextual factors. A deeper understanding of these nuances can help companies set more realistic expectations and navigate potential discrepancies in anticipated versus actual ROI. 5. Training and user adoption. The report outlines a comprehensive training program for different user roles, which is vital for successful implementation. However, the significance of ongoing education and support in fostering user adoption is often understated. Training cannot be a one-time event. Ongoing training sessions and user support structures are essential for adapting to system updates and ensuring that users remain engaged and competent. Failure to prioritize user adoption can lead to underutilization of the new systems, negating the expected efficiency gains and compliance improvements. 6. Vendor evaluation criteria. The report includes a detailed vendor evaluation framework, which is crucial for ensuring that the chosen GRC automation solution aligns with organizational needs. However, the significance of evaluating vendors beyond just technical capabilities, such as considering their stability support services and innovation roadmap, can often be overlooked. Organizations must ensure that they select a vendor who not only meets current needs but also has the capacity to evolve with changing technology and regulatory landscapes. 7. Cost of inaction analysis. The report discusses the escalating compliance costs and potential fines associated with manual processes, which presents a compelling business case for automation. However, the qualitative impacts of inaction, such as reputational damage, loss of customer trust, and competitive disadvantages, are often not articulated. Organizations should consider these broader implications when assessing the urgency and necessity of implementing automated GRC solutions. 8. Industry-specific implementation considerations. The report touches on industry-specific factors, particularly for financial services, healthcare, and manufacturing. But it could delve deeper into how these nuances affect the implementation process. Each industry faces unique regulatory pressures and compliance challenges that necessitate tailored solutions. Organizations should be cautious about adopting a one-size-fits-all approach and instead focus on customizing their GRC frameworks to meet specific industry demands effectively. Conclusion. The implementation of an AI governance framework is a complex undertaking that extends beyond compliance automation and financial metrics. Recognizing and addressing the strategic nuances detailed in this report can significantly influence outcomes, ensuring that organizations not only comply with current regulations but also position themselves for long-term success in a rapidly evolving regulatory landscape. By focusing on stakeholder engagement, integration complexities, continuous improvement, and user adoption, organizations can navigate the intricacies of GRC automation more effectively, ultimately achieving their compliance goals and enhancing operational efficiency. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 represents a significant step for organizations facing complex regulatory environments. The $3.2 million budget allocation and structured approach divided into 4 key phases underline the importance of compliance and infrastructure development in today's digital landscape. Here are the 4 most valuable points for in-depth analysis and discussion. 1. Structured implementation phases. The initiative is divided into 4 critical phases: foundation and planning, core deployment, production and optimization, and continuous improvement. This structured approach allows organizations to systematically address the complexities involved in deploying an AI governance framework. Foundation and planning, days 1 to 30. This phase emphasizes the importance of stakeholder alignment and technical assessments. By engaging key stakeholders early and defining success criteria,
Organizations establish a solid foundation for the initiative.
This phase also sets the stage for effective project management and resource allocation. Core deployment days 31 to 60. The establishment of a pilot environment to test workflows and integrations is crucial for identifying potential issues before a full rollout. This phase focuses on user acceptance testing, which is essential for ensuring that the technology meets the needs of its users. Production and optimization days 61 to 90. The phased rollout by department combined with real-time monitoring and performance optimization ensures that the framework is not only implemented but also continuously refined based on user feedback and performance metrics. Continuous improvement. This ongoing assessment process is vital for adapting to evolving regulatory requirements and business objectives.
By establishing a framework for continuous optimization, organizations can remain agile in a changing landscape.
2. Cost-benefit analysis and ROI expectations.
The budget allocation of $3.2 million is aimed at covering various costs,
including software licensing, implementation services, and infrastructure development. The potential return on investment ROI of 340% within the first year is a compelling aspect of the initiative. Cost breakdown. Understanding the allocation of the budget helps stakeholders appreciate where funds are being invested.
This includes not only direct costs but also the long-term savings realized through automation, reduced compliance violations, and improved efficiency.
ROI justification. The projected ROI reflects significant operational efficiencies such as a 65% reduction in audit preparation time and an 89% decrease in compliance violations. This financial justification is crucial for securing executive buy-in and ongoing support for GRC initiatives. Potential savings. The analysis highlights the potential to save millions in labor costs and compliance-related penalties, making a strong business case for the transition from manual processes to automated solutions.
3. Automation of governance, risk management, and compliance GRC.
The shift towards automating GRC processes is a key driver behind the initiative. The growing complexity of regulatory frameworks and the increased demand for compliance necessitate a move away from manual processes. Efficiency gains. The automation of GRC processes can significantly reduce the manual overhead associated with compliance tasks. Reports suggest that automation can eliminate as much as 73% of compliance-related tasks, freeing up valuable resources for more strategic activities. Real-time monitoring and reporting. The integration of real-time monitoring and automated reporting enhances audit readiness and compliance accuracy. This proactive approach allows organizations to identify potential compliance issues before they escalate. Adaptability to regulatory changes. Automated solutions can quickly adapt to changes in regulations, ensuring ongoing compliance and reducing the risk of violations. This adaptability is critical in a dynamic regulatory environment where organizations face increasing scrutiny from regulators. 4. Challenges and risks associated with implementation. While the benefits of implementing an AI governance framework are substantial, organizations must also navigate various challenges and risks. Integration complexity. Many organizations face integration challenges with existing legacy systems, which can lead to project delays and increased costs. A phased deployment approach can mitigate these risks by allowing for thorough testing and adjustments before full implementation. User adoption resistance. Change management is a critical component of successful implementation. Organizations must invest in training and communication strategies to ensure that users are engaged and comfortable with the new systems. Resistance to change can undermine the effectiveness of the framework. Scope creep. As with any major project, there is a risk of scope creep that can derail timelines and budgets. Implementing strict change control processes and maintaining clear documentation can help manage this risk. In conclusion, the strategic implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 is poised to enhance compliance capabilities significantly while providing a strong ROI. By focusing on structured phases, financial justification, automation benefits, and risk management, organizations can effectively navigate the complexities of modern regulatory challenges. This initiative not only streamlines governance processes but also positions organizations to thrive in an increasingly regulated environment. Here are 3 famous historical cases that are similar to the implementation of an AI governance framework, particularly in terms of compliance, risk management, and regulatory adherence. 1. Enron Scandal 2001. The Enron scandal is one of the most infamous cases of corporate fraud and corruption in history. Enron was an American energy company that used accounting loopholes and special purpose entities to hide its debt and inflate profits. The scandal resulted in the bankruptcy of the company, massive financial losses for shareholders, and the loss of thousands of jobs. In response to this scandal, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act (SOX) was enacted in 2002 to enhance corporate governance and accountability. It mandated stricter regulations on financial reporting and required companies to implement robust internal controls and compliance frameworks. The scandal highlighted the importance of governance, risk management, and compliance (GRC) in maintaining corporate integrity and protecting stakeholder interests. 2. Volkswagen Emissions Scandal 2015. The Volkswagen emissions scandal, also known as Dieselgate, involved the German automaker's use of software to cheat on emissions tests for diesel vehicles. This deception led to significant regulatory penalties, legal actions, and a substantial loss of consumer trust. In the aftermath, Volkswagen committed to implementing a comprehensive compliance overhaul, including the establishment of a new governance framework focused on ethical decision-making and compliance with environmental regulations. The scandal underscored the need for effective risk management practices and the importance of adhering to regulatory standards to avoid reputational damage and financial repercussions. 3. Wells Fargo Account Fraud Scandal 2016. The Wells Fargo scandal involved the creation of millions of unauthorized bank and credit card accounts by employees to meet aggressive sales targets. This breach of trust led to significant regulatory fines, a damaged reputation, and a re-evaluation of corporate governance practices within the bank. In response, Wells Fargo implemented a new governance and risk management framework to restore customer trust and enhance compliance. The scandal emphasized the critical role of internal controls, transparency, and ethical conduct in organizational operations, aligning closely with the principles of an AI governance framework focused on compliance and risk management. These cases illustrate the significant consequences of inadequate governance, risk management, and compliance practices, reinforcing the importance of a structured approach to implementing frameworks that ensure adherence to regulations and ethical standards in organizations. Future Outlook: Predictions for the implementation of AI governance framework by Q1 2025. The implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 is set to revolutionize how organizations engage with compliance, risk management, and governance. With a structured approach, a budget allocation of $3.2 million, and a focus on automation, the framework aims to address the growing complexities of regulatory landscapes. Here are key predictions on how this initiative will shape the future. 1. Increased adoption of automation in governance, risk management, and compliance (GRC). As organizations face mounting regulatory pressures and requirements, the shift toward automation in GRC processes is inevitable. By 2025, it is predicted that at least 70% of large enterprises will have adopted automated GRC solutions, significantly reducing manual effort and error rates. The forecasted 340% ROI within the first year emphasizes the financial viability of such investments, encouraging more companies to adopt similar frameworks. 2. Enhanced compliance capabilities. With the integrated AI governance framework, organizations will experience substantial improvements in compliance capabilities. Predictions indicate that compliance violations could decrease by up to 89% due to automated monitoring and real-time reporting functionalities embedded within these frameworks. This will not only minimize regulatory fines but also enhance the overall risk profile of organizations.
3. Real-time risk assessment and response. The integration of AI technologies will facilitate real-time risk assessment and incident response capabilities. By leveraging predictive analytics and continuous monitoring, organizations can identify potential risks before they manifest into compliance issues. This proactive approach is anticipated to reduce the average time for regulatory response by up to 65%, allowing companies to maintain continuous compliance effortlessly. 4. Streamlined audit processes. The implementation of automated GRC frameworks will transform audit processes. Organizations can expect to reduce audit preparation time from an average of 8 weeks to just 2 weeks by automating evidence collection and maintaining continuous compliance. As a result, the audit cycle will become more efficient, allowing teams to focus on strategic initiatives rather than being bogged down by compliance paperwork. 5. Cross-industry applicability of GRC automation. The flexibility of automated GRC solutions will make them applicable across various sectors, including healthcare, finance, and manufacturing. By 2025, it is expected that industries with strict regulatory demands will increasingly rely on these frameworks to navigate complex compliance landscapes effectively. For instance, healthcare organizations will benefit from automated HIPAA compliance processes, while finance firms will streamline their adherence to SOX and GDPR requirements. 6. Focus on continuous improvement and adaptation. Post-implementation. Organizations will engage in continuous improvement cycles to adapt their GRC frameworks in response to evolving regulatory landscapes. This will include regular updates to compliance frameworks and risk management practices as new regulations emerge. Continuous learning mechanisms embedded within AI systems will support organizations in staying ahead of compliance changes and maintaining operational resilience. 7. Investment in training and change management. The success of the AI governance framework will largely depend on user adoption and effective change management strategies. Organizations will invest significantly in training programs to equip employees with the necessary skills to navigate the new systems. By 2025, it is predicted that organizations will allocate an average of 10% of their total GRC budget to training and change management initiatives, ensuring that all stakeholders are proficient in utilizing the automated systems. 8. Emergence of new regulatory frameworks. The rapid advancement of AI and technology will likely lead to the emergence of new regulatory frameworks designed to govern AI applications and data usage. Organizations will need to stay vigilant and adaptive to these changes, integrating new compliance requirements into their existing GRC frameworks. This proactive stance will ensure that organizations remain compliant while harnessing the full potential of AI technologies. 9. Increased collaboration between departments. The implementation of an AI governance framework will foster improved collaboration between various departments, including IT, legal, compliance, and operations. As these teams work together to define success criteria and implement the framework, a culture of compliance will emerge, leading to more efficient operations and reduced silos within organizations. 10. Global standardization of compliance practices. As more organizations adopt GRC automation, a trend toward global standardization of compliance practices is anticipated. This will lead to the development of best practices and benchmarks that organizations can leverage to enhance their compliance capabilities. By aligning with international standards, organizations will not only streamline their operations but also enhance their reputations in the global marketplace. Conclusion. The upcoming implementation of an AI governance framework by Q1 2025 is set to transform governance, risk management, and compliance across various industries. By embracing automation, organizations will enhance their compliance capabilities, streamline audit processes, and adapt to evolving regulatory demands.
As the landscape of compliance continues to evolve, the proactive adoption of such frameworks will be crucial in navigating the complexities of the future business environment, ultimately leading to better risk management and operational excellence.